What's up, folks, and welcome to Indie Ramble. I got a unique one for you today. This is something, well, it's something I'd never really personally experienced in this form before. And if you're into short little vignette experiences that deal with a difficult subject in an interesting way, I think you're going to find something you might want to check out with this one. So this is, as you can tell, it's a very interesting title. Looking up, I see only a ceiling. This originally came out on PC in March 2023, almost exactly a year ago as I record this, in fact. But we're taking a look today at the Switch version, which came out just recently, actually. And I've actually finished this, and it didn't take me very long because, well, finishing this will take you maybe 2 hours at the outside, probably a lot less than that. So what I'm going to be doing here, because this is so short and is obviously so narratively heavy, I'm going to be showing you what's called the Explore mode, which is something that you get after you finish the game, and it just allows you to sort of walk around the environment and see what's what without any real spoilers of the main story. I'll try to explain the sort of gist of the main story here, but I don't want to spoil anything for you, because if you guys are into this, then you should go get this and check it out. It's very inexpensive, which is good because, like I said, it's very, very short. This is really more of a vignette kind of game. So you're going to want to, if you're going to want to play this, you should just go do it. But essentially what it is it's a little bit of an abstract story talking about a young girl who is going through very, very, very significant life stress due to some events that are happening. The kind of life stress a lot of us would deal with at this time in our lives, but it's affecting her in a pretty negative way. And you kind of deal with the manifestations of that. I'm going to put it that way. But this is a point and click sort of visual novel. So now when you hear visual novel, you may think very, very text heavy, right? This is not. You're going to be clicking around different things in the environment and doing different things, and most things are going to have, as you can see, a relatively small descriptor to them. You're not going to have to read a ton in order to do this. And not all of the dialogue, because all of this is presented as kind of an inner monologue of the character. What you're reading is what the character is saying to themselves. It's not always the best written. There's some grammatical things here and there. There's some other little hitches here and there, but by and large, it's pretty good. And it's very good at saying a lot with very few words. Something I should probably still try to figure out one of these days. But you can look at an object and it will say not a lot, and you'll learn a lot about it. And as you go along, you're going to explore this house, and things are going to happen, and you're going to have to try to figure out what to do with those and how to approach different things. And you're going to be doing it in this way, which is all you're going to be doing is clicking around the screens, and all of the action points within a different static scene are laid out for you, and you just tap on each of them and see what it has to see. And then there are also, at certain points in the story, going to be objects you have to pick up and use on other things. But there aren't very many rooms to the house. Like the house that you're in is fairly small. There aren't a lot of rooms that you're gonna have to go through, and there aren't a lot of objects that you're gonna have to pick up, and there's not really anything like a puzzle in this, I would say. There are two endings to this. They are both very easy to attain because the game has very specific checkpoints that will unlock as you go through it. And once you've finished it once, you can literally go back to the last checkpoint, and figuring out what you need to do to get the other ending is pretty easy. This is not a challenging game. It's not really designed to be either, though. It has a story it wants to say, and it wanted to do it in an interactive way, but it wants to make sure that everyone can experience it too. And I think that's admirable. I think if you're going to make a very short narrative experience like this, it does have to be priced appropriately. And this is that. This is very inexpensive. If I if this was a game where they were asking 10, 15, 20 bucks for it, I'd have been like, dude, you're asking a lot there. But this is not that. It's very inexpensive, and it's simple, as you can see, but it has a vibe. You know what I mean? It's just everything about it, like with the sort of weird noise effect on the images and the pastel type colors and the very creepy ambient, you know, hum behind you almost as you play it. It's very good. Even though it's just mostly static scenes and static objects, it's very good at making you feel uneasy in a way that I think is actually, it's hard to pull off. And I think this dev did it. And the story it's telling is definitely abstract. Like I said, it's about a person dealing with stress, and you're going to see that, but it's not cliche. It's not just going to tell you a story of a person who's stressed out and you just got to help them get through the day, and you just got to do, you know, you got to do these things, and you know, you'll make them feel better. It's nothing like that. Really, what this wants you to do is to live the experience with that person. It's trying to create empathy. It's trying to get you to go, yeah, this is, you know, this person's dealing with some stuff right now, and they're not processing it maybe as well as some other people could, you know, as some other people might, but you're living that with them and trying to get a little bit of empathy, trying to build a little bit of empathy for that. And those are the types of emotional games, if you will, that I think really do the best job, are the ones that don't just tell you what's happening and just be like, yeah, this is bad, you should probably feel bad here, eh? You understand? Yeah, like games that try to tell you to feel bad versus games that try to lay out the experience of what the character's going through and just present it to you in a way that makes you naturally want to empathize with it, where you don't have to be told that you know, you should feel bad here and you should, you know, engage emotional circuits. You know, it's not doing that. They're games that really try to engender that in you by making you, by just laying everything out and presenting it in such a way where you go, man, I feel for that person. And that's what this does in this very, very simple, short way. It's, and that's why I think this is a game that's worth talking about, because it's very hard to do this kind of thing well. Lots of games try it, few succeed. I think this one did. This is going to be something that is not for everyone, for sure. But that's the thing. It doesn't have to be, and it's priced so that if you think it might be something worth trying, you can give it a crack. And if you don't like it very much, you're not out much of anything, right? And that's what's cool about it. I think they really understood what they were making here and what they needed to do to make it an attractive proposition for people. So I did enjoy my time with this. Like I said, I did find it very easy. Now, I'm not much of a puzzle guy, so honestly, if a game is very heavy on puzzles, especially point and click moon logic puzzles, I'm kind of like, ugh, yeah, like that's kind of rough for me. This is not that. This has puzzles in it, but really they're puzzles where the solution is so obvious. They're just there to help you move things along, right? That's really all it is. And that's okay. I think that's fine in certain circumstances when it's used appropriately. And I think they did that here. Now, I am playing the Switch version because I'm capturing this. My Switch is in a dock and I'm playing it with a Pro controller, but obviously this is very simple to control. I did try to play this with the touchscreen. You can, if you're sitting in portable mode and you just want to like do this instead of using a controller, you can. I have found it's not very responsive. I found I had to tap on a lot of I find the tap boxes on some of the items are a little too small, so I had to tap something repeatedly before it kind of realized what I was trying to touch. I feel that's something they could maybe polish up in a patch a little bit. Maybe make the hit boxes around the icons a little bigger than the icons themselves. Make it a little bit more generous to make it easier, especially for people with giant Yeti hands like mine to to hit the buttons more easily in touchscreen mode. But yeah, this is the Switch version. This is out on PC as well. The Switch version is a whopping $1 US more. I mean, they got to pay that platform tax, right? I think that's really what that is. And there is an extra publisher involved with the Switch version that's not on the PC. So, you know, it's $1 more on the Switch, but it's a way that you could do it to play it portably easily, which is kind of cool. Though, obviously, this game being as lo-fi as it is, a Steam Deck could run this without breaking a sweat. So, you know, that's cool as well. But it is a very short experience with no real replayability. Once you've finished it, you do get to unlock this explore mode that I'm trudging around here right now. And some of the objects and things that you'll find do have different descriptions and different things to read, because this is supposed to be after the main story. So it's kind of of an epilogue, I guess, that does allow you to freely explore the house with no pressure, but also learn some new things about that. So, but after you've beaten both endings, which, like I said, getting both endings is not difficult at all, and will take you almost no time whatsoever. Once you've gotten both endings, you're done. There's nothing else to do other than walk around in this explore mode and sort of see what's what, see what's changed. That's really all there is. But again, this is dirt cheap. And I think for the price they're asking, this is a cool little experience. Even if you're someone who's not into this a little bit more, I almost said avant-garde. I'm sure I've never used that term properly in my entire life. But if you're someone who is into this more, I guess, abstract sort of little experimental, story experimental, narrative experimental type of thing that's designed to try to make you convey empathy in an interesting way, you should check this out, if nothing else than for the curiosity. Because you got practically nothing to lose to do it. And seeing these types of games that are well done is not very common. And I'd like to see more of them get done. And I think when devs price things like this appropriately, it makes them a lot more, people who would normally blow them off going, oh, that's just overpriced, pretentious crap. It makes them more interested to take a look at it and, you know, experience a new type of thing and maybe have a new experience from gaming that they haven't before, which I always think is important. But yeah, you've kind of seen the bulk of it here. You know how it plays. You've seen most of the environment. But the story is something that is interesting to check out for sure. So that is Looking Up, I See Only a Ceiling. It is out now on the PC and Switch. It's cheap, and it's a very interesting short experience that I think a lot of people should give a try. You might like it, you might not, but at least even if you don't, it's not going to cost you much, and you'll know that this is not for you. Or maybe you'll learn that it is for you and you got a whole new genre to check out, because there's a lot of these out there. So thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you liked what you saw here, please do all the normal YouTube things. Those do help out a great deal. Leave a comment down below and tell me, you know, does this kind of thing interest you? What are other games like this? Disregard the price point. What are other kind of narrative experiment games like this that are out there that you find interesting? There are a lot of them, and I've played some of them, but definitely not all of them. And I like things that kind of push the limits of storytelling the way this one does, or the medium of storytelling anyway, and I'd like to know about that. And you can also follow me over at twitch.tv/pxabstraction. Streams are going to be coming back soon as I record this. We're going to be doing a lot of retro stuff over there, focusing on what I call the deep backlog. It's going to be a fun time, and we have a great little community there that I'd love to see be a part of. Thanks again, everybody, and I'll see you on the next Indie Ramble. You folks have yourselves a good one. Take her easy.